Um, my topic is today is the addiction to the inner conflict. And what's happening when you're addicted to this inner conflict, suddenly peace actually feel unsafe. And I'll go into the practice deeper to explain this because we can get caught up in the explanation. Because if we still have that addiction to the conflict, um, peace will constantly become a place that you're unsafe. So what we are going to do is we're going to come into the brutal truth of people say that they want peace, but as soon as the peace arrives, their mind quickly create another conflict. And this is amazing to see when you go on a holiday, suddenly the arguments comes, another thing to attend to come. And why this matters today so much is um, because I see this because I worked with a lot of different levels of age group, children, teenagers, parents, business owners, retirees, because our culture is a constant stimulation. You could see it on a social media level, on a political level, on a religion level, even on a health and even on a spiritual level. It's a continuity of a reaction. And only very few people will rest on this place because they are not being aware of resting. So, and then we can go on to the psychosomatic layer of this is the body constantly start organizing itself around the conflict. So we have these tightened jaws, breathing become difficult or shallow, pelvic floor is constantly contracting, shoulders are constantly rising. And if you see their eyes, they're quite vigilant because they constantly can't rest because they think that a danger is right next to them. So of course the arteries are hardened, inflammation is increasing, sleeping become lighter, even the danger has passed away. I know this is a part that the science doesn't have much proof on these things, but if you really understand what I'm trying to say and work it out, the anticipation becomes habitual. And what happens to the nervous system is it's not interested in unfamiliar things. Calms feel constantly boring to it. It constantly find rest is constantly when people are resting, they bring guilt into it. And suddenly the joy so much becomes suspicious. This can't be right. This can't be right. And stillness actually appears very dangerous. I mean, I work with so many of these clients. Stillness constantly appears for them. Oh no, I don't like that. So it's not about the silently the nervous system is asking, what am I missing? This is leading people unconsciously to sabotage the holiday, sabotage the relationship, sabotage the work ethics, sabotage everything, and even to the success and the health. So, saying that, I'm going to move the camera towards Darren if you need to work on the movement, but this is a movement towards you and becoming that conflict being observed and allowing the unfamiliar peace to come and resting on an elongated space of observation. So saying that, take a deep breath in, shoulders roll back and open up that chest. Lift up the space of the heart. And very gently, arms raise onto the crown. interlacing the fingers, palms facing up. Very gently let that shoulders drop a little bit and gently breathe out. Twist the spine to the right side. Don't try to become peaceful because that's not part of the teaching. Do not attempt to improve yourself. Now, gently, can you drop that left hip a little bit more? Because I can see when you're twisting, you're lifting up the left side. So support your interest. Simply become interested in what already taking place, not what is missing. Now take a deep breath, come back into the center. Shoulders relax, chest open, lift up the space of the heart. Observe the elongation of the spine, the rib cage on the side, the cage that holds the organs within. Now change the leg formation if you need to work on that, and very gently take a deep breath in. Awareness is already here before your effort begins. Twisting the spine to the other side. Now you don't have to manufacture this movement. You only have to stop overlooking it. Feel the weight of the body, not as an object, as a living field of the sensation. Nothing needs to change. Back into the center. Now shrug the shoulders up, tilt the head back and massage the back of the skull. Nothing needs correcting. Open and close the mouth wider. Wider, release the tension of the jaw. Now let the body to speak. Can you listen without translating every sensation into a conflict or a problem? Breathe out and drop into a cat. Breathing in, tongue roll up onto the upper palate. Energy gaze onto the third eye. Can warmth simply be warmth? Can pressure simply be pressure? Can tingling remain tingling without becoming diagnosis? Observe how quickly the mind wants to name, compare, measure, interpret. Breathing out, breathing in again. Without elbows pointing into the back and opening in the front of that. And relax. Now, what I'm going to do is asking you to stretch the right arm into the front and drop the right shoulder and just push into the other side of the palm, and then fingers opening up, stretching into the front. Even you can go one finger at a time just to see where the tension is. Now very gently relax, and let's do the other side without triggering the left shoulder to rise up. Notice whether another movement immediately appears, the urge to improve the breath, to deepen it, disappointment, impatience. Allow the body to reveal its own rhythm. Not controlling, not lengthening, not slowing. Remain breathing. Do not interfere. Back and relax. Now interlacing the fingers on the back of the neck and take a deep breath in and lift up the space of the back of the neck and very gently tilting, like using that lock as a brace. Very gently side to side or front to the back. I quite like to stretch the neck up and drop it into the back a little bit, like half circles into the front and into the back by holding the bracing. Now elbows pointing into the side, pointing into the back without triggering that shoulder blade. And now elbows pointing into the front, and get those interlacing of the fingers to go up on the back of the head and drop it onto a cat while you're locking it. That's it. Elbows close to each other, close to each other. Breath out, spread the wings and relax and release. Now the idea is there is movement, but without the interference of that. Become fascinated by the machinery that cannot stop reaching for another destination. Now widen your awareness. Now take a deep breath in and breathe out. Stretch the tongue out as much as possible. Breathing in and relax. Breath out, stretch the tongue even furthermore into the front. It's very important, especially when we are snoring. This part of the muscle need to get tightened and stronger without tongue collapsing into the back. And relax. One more time. Take a deep breath in. This time, make a big noise. And activate the throat a little bit more, especially on the winter season. And relax. Now take a deep breath in. Include the sounds around you. Now relax for a moment and bring that left leg into the back. Keep that right hip open. Shoulders roll back, opening up the chest. Notice something remarkable. Most of what you call experience has not yet happened. It's being anticipated. Before your eyes settle on an object, before I speak, before sound reaches your awareness, the brain has already begun to prepare a reaction. Not because it knows the future, but because it has become extraordinary skill at using yesterday to predict today. Now observe any of you are in that stage. Breath out, drop the elbows, walk those palms. Observe gently. The moment you hear an unexpected sound, does the body tighten before you consciously recognize it? Now, even on the posture, if the posture is too much gripping, observe that. Now, this goes to on a different level. When someone looks towards you, does the mind begins imagining what they might be thinking about you? This happens a lot. When the phone vibrates, is there already an expectation before you even read the message? Oh, I know what they are going to write. Notice how rapidly this prediction appears. It is almost instant. The body often moves before the story becomes conscious. Now we are going on a deeper level. Take a deep breath in and coming back stronger on the pelvic floor into a plank, stronger on the pelvic floor. Left knee onto the floor, right arm reaching up to the ceiling, right leg up. Now 6 deep cycles of breath without collapsing that hip, without collapsing that part of the bum. Observe the movement is only on the arm. Become aware of the rest of the body. Now allow the attention very gently rest within this living movement. Drop the knee completely, breathe out to the cat. Breathing in, left arm reaching up to the ceiling into a neutral spine. Left arm reaching up, up, up under the armpit, dropping their shoulders. Now, allow your attention to rest within this moment, not searching, not analyzing, simply observing the left shoulder, the right arm, the hip. Notice whether the mind quietly begins to comparing this moment with another. Is this practice going well? Is my shoulders doing this? Am I relaxed enough? Should I be feeling more? Has anything changed? Now, the idea is how the brain predict the conflict before experience even arrived. So this prediction continually compares what is happening with what it expected to happen. The comparison itself becomes tension. Take a deep breath in and very gently coming back. Shoulders relax and chest open. Now give a good rotation to the hips. Onto the other side. Stretch the spine into the front and into the back. Now take a moment here. Now notice when the eyes, even when they are closed, they are often seen to be searching for an image, confirmation, certainty or movement. Can the eyes rest without needing to find? Can awareness remain open without looking for the next direction from me? Now notice the breathing again. Before the next inhalation arrives, does the mind anticipate it? Does it subtly lean towards the future? The body already knows how to breathe, yet the mind often behaves as though it might supervise every natural movement. Observe this part of the teaching with kindness, not judgment, only on a level of curiosity. Now, palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing into up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Breathing into up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Breathing in into up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Now left leg up into the back without tilting the hip. Higher, higher, higher. Left knee to the chest. Stretch back. Left knee to the right elbow. Stretch back. Left knee to the other side. And stretch back. Left foot into the front. Arm stretch into the back. Arms raised onto the ground. Virabhadrasana. Lengthen and arch. Back into the center. Knee is not folding in. Elbow onto the knee. Right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Right arm reaching into the front. Gently touch the floor. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. Left arm reaching into the back, touch the floor. Into a plank. Breathe. Drop the knees, stretch the spine. Now, does the mind anticipating it, or subtly it's leaning towards the future? The body already knows how to breathe, yet the mind is still wants to supervise every natural thing happening. Now consider how often life is not being experienced directly because of this misalignment. It is constantly being interpreted through expectation. A familiar voice for most of you all is heard before the person has spoken. A familiar face is judged before it has even smiled this time. A familiar situation is completed before even it unfolds. See, the memory quietly finishes the sentence before reality has spoken its first word. Now, please make attention on this place. Become aware of the space around your body. Awareness includes breath, sound, warmth, stillness, thought, sensations equally. Yet prediction continually selects this matter. Ignore that and watch this. Prepare for that. Awareness has no preference. Prediction survives through preference. All people who are predicting, it only survives through preference. Now, preference is a conflict. You all are there with me? Preference is a conflict because you have this versus that versus this. So allow an old memory to rise naturally. Observe how the body responds to it. Perhaps stomach tighten as soon as you think about that event. Perhaps the throat contracts. Perhaps the breathing changes. Nothing dangerous is happening. Only the memory. Yet the body prepares as thought has passed, has written. This happens with money, this happens with health, this happens with people who have different relationships, different partners. It's pretty unnecessary than be surprised. Thank the body for trying to protect you. Okay, thank it for doing that part without allowing yesterday to become today. That's the part you need to be aware of it. It wants to be the best for you, but it doesn't stop you growing because you're constantly on a conflict level with the nervous system. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing into an up face. Breathe out towards the down face. Now drop the knee completely, coming into a cat. Breathing into a cow. Breath in a neutral spine. Our right arm reaching up to the ceiling. Did we do that side as well? Now very gently right arm reaching into the back and touch the floor. Not yet. Touch the floor. Now very gently right leg up. Yes. Oh, okay. So the left leg up. Left arm reaching up to the ceiling. 6 deep cycles of breath. Now very gently drop the knee completely. Breathe out to the cat. Breathing into a cow. Neutral spine. Left arm reach or right arm reaching up to the ceiling, into the back and under the armpit. Now, Notice another subtle movement. The mind predicts not only danger, it predicts the approval. Most of the time, it predicts success, rejection, failures, recognition, and embarrassment. It rehearses conversations that never occur and defend the position that have never been challenged. Now, these are very subtle things psychologically you have to observe. Notice how much energy is spent in this living in this imagined future. Okay, the embarrassments, the surface, the success, the failure, the approval, conversation never have happened, but yet you made up your mind that that's what they are thinking, that's what they are doing. Now remain completely still, ask silently, what is actually happening right now before the prediction begins? Before the prediction, remember I explained to you about the prediction before it starts speaking. Not what the mind expects, not what the memory has suggested to you, not what fear has imagined of this situation. What is undeniably here in this very moment? Breathing, hearing, feeling, being noticed. That awareness itself has never predicted anything. Awareness simply there, observing. Now very gently coming back, completely breathe out of the cat, breathing into a cow, neutral spine, rotate the hips on a circular motion, while the rotation to the other side. Now stretch the hips into the front, into the back, totally drop. Now remember the prediction that is comparing what is happening, what is expected to happen, and the comparison is creating this space of unease and tension. I ask you, do not judge this, simply recognize the momentum of this. The search has become more familiar than resting. Your verbal commentary is more important than the space of resting, gathering your energy. Ask yourself gently, if nothing needed solving for the next few minutes in this class, what would remain? Don't answer. Allow the question to dissolve into silence. Now, any situation that you have in life, say you have a relationship issue, you have a family issue, a financial issue, a working environment issue. If nothing needed solving for the next few minutes, what would remain? Don't answer. Just allow the question to just break in and dissolve into the silence. But remain available. But you're remaining available, but not waiting. You're remaining into the presence of this awareness, but not expecting. You're remaining in this place, simply you're dissolving that space of the question because you don't want the neuropaths to get agitated, but you're simply available. Perhaps for the first time today, there is nothing to become, nothing to complete, nothing to defend, nothing to earn, nothing to maintain. Is that a problem now? Only this unmistakable aliveness that it exists long before the next conflict was invited. So rest in here. Not because you have achieved stillness, because stillness has quietly been waiting beneath every attempt to escape it. And you escape it, whether it's addiction, whether it's addiction to food, addiction to gambling, addiction to whatever they are, or even addiction to thoughts, or addiction to your story. Now crawling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing into up face, breathe out towards the down face, right leg up into the back, right knee to the right chest, stretch back, right knee to the right elbow, stretch back, right knee to the left elbow, stretch back, right foot into the front, arms stretch into the back, arms raise onto the crown, interlacing the fingers, palms raising up, Virabhadrasana, left palm facing up, gently arch, elbow onto the knee, see deeper left arm reaching up to the ceiling, left arm reaching into the back, touch the floor, right arm reaching up to the ceiling, right reaching into the back, touch the floor, into a plank, drop the knees, stretch the spine. Now, it's a beautiful day. If you see the clouds moving across the sky, now the sky does not anticipate them. Waves arrive upon the ocean. The ocean does not prepare. Morning, this beautiful morning, will become evening. The earth does not resist the turn. So now you understand awareness. Awareness meet each moment without rehearsing it in the space of defense or anticipation. Now, if you understand that metaphor, freedom is not found by eliminating prediction. So, because a lot of people do, a lot of politicians are saying that. A lot of finance gurus are saying that. Your spiritual gurus are saying that. But freedom is not, moksha is not found by eliminating this prediction. The brain will continue predicting. That is the part of its biological function. So don't blame the brain. There's nothing wrong with the brain. Freedom appears when prediction is recognized as prediction. When you recognize prediction as prediction, what happens to you? You're no longer mistaken for reality. You begin to witness the forecast instead of living inside it. You begin to witness the forecast instead of living inside it. Right now, in the interval before the next thought is believed, before memory completes the reality, before anticipation contracts the body, before the identity claims the experience, there is nothing to solve, nothing to prepare, nothing to defend. Life has already arrived. Allow yourself, perhaps for the first time today, to experience this moment before yesterday has the opportunity to explain it. Got it? Child pose. Crown of the head onto the floor, lifting up the back arms. Roll back onto the third eye and keep the fist on the third eye. Now, yesterday is an excellent teacher. Excellent teacher. But a very, very poor substitute for direct perception. The nervous system prepares for what it remembers, but awareness meets what is actually here. Can you see the two different? Conflict often begins as prediction long before it becomes an experience. Not every single signal from the mind deserves a reaction from the body. Can you stop that today? Peace is rarely absent. It is a frequently overlooked. The mind forecasts. The difference is awareness witness it. The body softens when it no longer mistakes expectations for reality. So the greatest freedom is seeing a prediction without becoming it. Life arrives fresh. Memory arrives first. Life, every moment arrives fresh, but the memory arrives first. Notice the pause before the interpretation. The quiet interval changes everything. It is very, very, very gentle. If you can hold these quiet intervals without constantly talking about the memory, wake up the spine when one vertebra at a time, when you come into this understanding. Now, before the eyes settle on object, before another thing comes out of my speaking, before a sound reaches the awareness, just observe whether still the brain has already begun preparing reactions. Not because it knows the future, but because it continually uses yesterday to interpret this moment. Now, this is a part that you can stop your storytelling and not becoming a historian of your life. You know, when it happens that you become a historian of your life, you miss so many opportunities in the present. Now, wait a minute and notice how quickly prediction appears. The body often responds before the story becomes conscious. Observe this gently as thought compare, evaluate, and anticipate. Let the breathing happen by itself. Let the sound happen, come and go. Notice how awareness receives the experience while the mind is continuously doing the forecast. And you say, I predicted this happening. No, you prepare yourself for that event to happen without even not knowing. Observe the body relationship with the uncertainty. Feel the jaw now, feel the throat, shoulder, belly, and hands. So use this as a yoga nidra. I don't have to lay you down because now you are in the space of realizing a bit more. Is any part of the body quietly preparing for something that is not happening? Allow the memory to rise naturally and notice how the body reacts. Even though only memory is present, now observe that. Thank the body for trying to protect you without allowing the past to become the present. Now very gently stretch the legs out. Release all those tensions that has shackled you, wrist that has handcuffed energetically, because the mind wants to protect you, but do you need that protection? Ask silently what is actually happening before prediction begins speaking. Not what memory suggests again, not what fear imagines, simply breathing, hearing, feeling, and being awareness itself does not predict it. Now knees to the chest to complete breathe out. Breathing in into a Navasana. Breathe out. Breathing in. 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 Breathe out, knees to the chest. Now sole of the feet together, knees wide apart. Butterfly the hips and release any tension. Great. Now under the ankles, locking onto the toes and walk the bum back, not curving the spine too much. Shoulders roll back and look into the ceiling and drop the lower belly onto the gravity. Middle belly into the gravity. Lower rib cage into the gravity. Middle rib cage into the gravity. Shoulders roll back again. Look up and drop the upper chest. Ah, that's great. Everybody is doing amazing. Now, if you want to keep a block instead of hunching your back on the feet and on the forehead, please do the or a cushion or a blanket. Now ask very silently what is actually happening before the prediction begins. Don't go to the memory box. Not the memory what most memories are very fear part of the memory we hold tightly. Simply start breathing. Remember I said to you the start of the class or some part of it, yesterday was an excellent teacher, but it's a very poor substitute for direct perception. But most of the teachers are yesterday. Nervous system prepares for what it remembers, what has happened. But is that mechanism constantly have to run through you? Now gently coming back, shoulders roll back, opening up the chest. Keep the sole of the feet together. Now very gently drop the elbows into the back until the upper body back. Keep the sole of the feet together. And when you drop a little bit more, can you bring the feet a bit more closer to you and drop the knees? That's it. And open up the throat. Now the idea here is not totally tilted to the head too much, but just embrace that stretch. Now, if this is harder for you, you have to put a bolster underneath to open up. So the idea here is to elevate the sternum, throat, and very gently drop the elbows and relax onto the floor. Now, knees to the chest to complete, breathe out. Lock onto the toes and feet wide apart, shoulders relax, chest open. Bend your knees slightly if they are a bit uncomfortable. And very gently bring the knees to the chest, forehead onto the knee, and stretch that back of the neck. Control those pelvic flow and very gently drop the knees to the right side. Move the hips towards the right side a bit more, Now left arm stretch onto the floor, back into the center. Onto the other side, back into the center. Knees to the chest, wrap the spine and come into a seating posture. Twist the spine to the right, back into the center onto the other side. Back into the center. If you need to do another stretch, please do so. Back to the center. The addiction to inner conflict, why peace feels unsafe. So this is not about who am I, but what is silently controlling me before even have a thought. So this practice was not about stress, trauma, or anxiety. We have dealt with those words before. Please revisit those classes if you need to come back into that awareness. This is about something very subtle. Why are we unconsciously so attached to the inner friction? Because we don't necessarily enjoy suffering. But the conflict, your story, has gradually become woven into the identity. And only the awareness can release this. No matter how many healings you have done, the brutal truth here is you constantly say, I want to go to a yoga class because I want peace. But soon as the class is finished, the mind is quickly creating another problem, another opinion, another gathering for an argument, another goal. Or you say, I need people like-minded as me. And you're going into relationships of these imaginary spaces. Or another illness. Or another absolute political outrage. or another spiritual ambition, or another self-improvement project. Now the nervous system is quite learning. Conflict means I am somehow existing. Conflict means I am real. Conflict means people only recognize me when I have conflict. So can you see the peace feels like disappearing now? Why is this matter today? Doesn't matter what age you are, what role you play, what job you do. This is a culture constantly has stimulated through news, through socials, through politics, through religions, through health, even spiritual. We can become form of a constant reaction. Because I totally believe what I've been told yesterday. And I believe to react onto anything which is not yesterday. So can you see everyone is reacting? Maybe very few of you is deeply resting, at least this hour. So observe what is it doing to the psychosomatic layer. Observe now, the body is beginning to organize itself around conflict only. Because you are more feeling alive when your jaw is tightening. When you have to have a simple conversation by shouting. Your breathing is huffing, puffing. Your pelvic floor is totally contract. Your shoulders are totally rising up. Your eyes constantly scanning like an animal being hunted. Of course, your gut is going to hurt. Your inflammation is now increasing, even in sleep, because you're not really resting. So the sleep is light. Now you can see the conflict is not there. It has passed away, but body continues to prepare for another one because your anticipation has become habitual. Please pay attention to it. Now see the identity. I am the helper. I am the survivor. I am the victim. I am the healer. I am the one who helped. I am the one who survived. Now what does this do to the nervous system? Nervous system is totally unfamiliar with rest or safety. So most of the people, calmness feel absolutely boring. They can't even rest because they feel guilty that they have rested and they should have earned some money.